knee injury, but he is carrying on regardless. Well, 10 points down at half-time. Can they come back, Steve-O?
Yes, they can, but they've got to have a lot more enthusiasm that they've shown, especially in the forwards. I mean, it amazed me that James Lowe's, I think Adrian Morley was only out for about 15 minutes in that first half, and they need some leadership out there, and the skipper really has to show his quality and his strength, and also the likes of Martin Gleeson, Matt King, so experienced. There is the big fella Adrian Morley. He'll be itching to get back inside, but they need more eager. They're completely outplayed by a Tiger outfit in that first 40 minutes.
Well, it's been done before, Phil, hasn't it?
The sign of a good side is one that can get themselves out of a hole after a poor first half. The mind goes back to Millennium Magic last year, I think, when Warrington were 22 points to 6 down and came back to win. They have the ability, Eddie, to score 20 or 30 points in this second half. I think the biggest test for them is whether they can improve their defence.
Well, I put the question to Sean McRae during half-time, where we concentrated on Warrington, really. Donlan here has picked up a knock in that tackle. We concentrated on Warrington. We were a little bit guilty of not really giving full credit to this Castleford side for the way that they have played in the first 40 minutes. But I asked Sean McRae, how can a side that goes as close as they did against St Helens, how can a side that beat Leeds with basically the same personnel as they've got out there tonight? I know that Rauhihi isn't playing here this evening, but basically it's the team that beat Leeds. How did they go from hero to zero in a fortnight?
It's simple. They're human beings. You can have good days, bad days, indifferent days. It is as simple as that. It is sport. It happens all the time. And maybe, who knows, Warrington, they thought, hang on, we're in the top 6. Why really worry about it? Well, they could be just throwing away the home advantage.
Good play from Katiki, offloaded it and he got away with it. Henderson handed it on.
That was a big hit there. Ooh, Wood didn't miss him then, that occasion.
Dawn to Dixon, the pass was in front of Wainwright.
Cold an opportunity to slip them apart. That's one good thing that Castleford have done in this game. Good strong work in the forwards, and they've had the ability, especially with McGoldrick and Luke Dawn, combining. On that occasion, didn't come off, but they caught Warrington out on several occasions in the first stanza.
Let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, I didn't want to get too close to the Warrington dressing room after what you were suggesting might happen after that first half performance, but in actual fact I'm told James Lowe's didn't tear the paint off the walls, and he in fact stayed out of the dressing room for a while. Just let the players stew. They know they've let themselves down in the first 40 minutes, and that's the point that's been made, that really it's their own fault and it's in their own hands to repair all that, and that's what the coach there is expecting. Just and going back to interested spectators here tonight, I understand that in the crowd is Jim Bannigan, who is a very well-known manager from Australia, represents players like Michael Monaghan, Brent Webb and Ruben Wickie. And Mr. Bannigan is in the country for some meetings in the coming week. Now, of course, there's a lot of speculation about this big name signing that Leeds Rhinos are making, and Ruben Wickie, another of the names being mentioned, as is that of Greg Eastwood, the New Zealand international's second rower from Brisbane, and he's another one who's been talked about.
Blimey, Bill, you're going through the entire NRL. You had another name for us on Friday night.
Oh, well, they'll get it right sometime within...
I think he's covering all bases, you know. That's offside against Warrington. Too quick out of the blocks, play the ball. Bill's covering his options. Ruben Wickie, 35, another 35-year-old to Super League then, eh?
I'm just thinking about the next 35 minutes here, and Castleford, you know, that missed opportunity when Dixon went through the line. 10 points is nothing here. I think they're aware of that. Maybe that was the tension with Dixon. He threw the ball to his wing. It was a wasted opportunity.
Castleford with their tails up here. This is Peter Lupton.
The one good thing that Warrington have to thank their lucky stars is the fact that Castleford don't have the kicking boots on, because if they'd have added the conversions, I'm afraid Warrington would have been completely out of this game.
Henderson looking busy, finds Dawn, short ball to Katic, takes the return. It's opened up for Luke Dawn here. Couldn't get the ball out wide, was trying to smuggle it to Wainwright again, and Riley saw to him that that opportunity was not there. Dixon at dummy half. Katic again. Now Liafa will drive the ball in. That's the fourth tackle. 5 metres away. Great run from Henderson. Last one here. Liafa, all scheming the Castleford Tigers, pointing. Dab through. Went backwards, said the referee. Big call.
Good work from Monaghan there. It had to be as well. No bad option, just dink the ball through.
Eddie, I think Warrington is simply surviving here, and they can't do that for the remainder of the match. If I were the coach now, I'd put Morley back out there. They need something special here. They've got to play their joker to get out of trouble.
I wonder if there's a problem with Adrian Morley. I just wonder if he is on the sideline and he's not 100% fit. No sign of him coming back on yet.
Well, he only did the first 15 minutes, as far as I can see.
Dumped over the top by John Clark. Pretty easy that for Richard Owen.
I think you'll find, Eddie, just as you were talking, I think Adrian Morley's just changed with, I think might be Paul Wood's gone off the field. Adrian Morley's certainly on there now.
Yes, he has. He's arrived. Wood has done well, playing himself back into first team contention, and Morley on. Boy, do Warrington need a big knock from the captain. Oh, and another pass goes astray, this time from Ryan McGoldrick.
Well, I'm surprised that Castleford are just trying a little bit too much. They're trying to score on nearly every opportunity that they've got the ball in hand. At a 10-point lead, got to start kicking into the corner, start turning it around, giving a little bit more doubt in this Warrington outfit that's had a lot of problems. They're not communicating, the Wolves, at all.
Yeah, I agree,
very
Steve.
Quiet.
I agree with you, Steve. I think you send so many invitations out to other teams. If you keep sending it, any side will take it. And a side with Warrington, they just need something to go their way. They just need a little click.
Gleeson's injured. Sorry, Sean. But Gleeson has picked up a very bad injury by the looks of things. He went down very quickly. It's sort of a hamstring or something.
Here come Warrington again in the shape of Michael Cooper as Gleeson. An eye on him, and he's limping really badly at the moment as Westwood carries it forward. He's got a major problem. Clark, Breers to Monaghan. Monaghan slips the pass. This is a chance here, and that's a great try from Matty Blythe. Well, that just might pep Warrington up a bit. Matty Blythe, the 19-year-old who showed up well recently against St Helens, and he hit that ball at pace, and with Gleeson back almost on the halfway line receiving treatment, Warrington continued the attack down the left-hand side, and Matty Blythe getting over for his first try for Warrington, and one that just might get them going.
Again, trying to force a pass when they don't really need it. They've got control of the game. And it was good work there. Breers onto Monaghan, and look how he just comes back on the inside. Talk about a man coming on the angle at the right moment. Matty Blythe, superb. Watch him come onto this. Bang! He knew exactly what was happening. He knew that Monaghan was going to give him it. Well, they're back in the game.
Fifth appearance of the year. All of them coming in the side since James Lowes took over. He's a former Rylands amateur and Lee Miners amateur as well, and an England Academy international. And Chris Hicks here now to add the extras. Well, he's brought his shooting boots with him. It's 22-18. All three Warrington tries converted by Chris Hicks. But Dixon, he's only converted one so far of the 5 that Castleford have scored, and that's the difference.
This is the injury to Martin Gleeson. He just seems to step and then, he knows it's gone. There's definitely something pretty bad. He went down extremely quickly. Pull a hamstring, you feel? Either way, he's in trouble.
Steve, I don't think it is a hamstring. I was watching him when you pointed out the injury. As a penalty goes to Warrington there. It looks to me like he's either had a bang just above the knee, or he's got a little bit of a ligament problem. But he has in fact left the field.
He has, and Bill can tell us what's wrong with him. Bill?
I think Sean could be right, Eddie. I think it was a bang directly on the knee that's been the problem, because he's sitting in the dugout now, and in fact there's no ice going on or anything like that. And as he walked to the sidelines, he was walking an awful lot easier than you'd have imagined the way he went down. So it may be not quite as bad as first feared, but certainly they're not taking any risks with Martin Gleeson. Incidentally, Lee Breers is still out there. It did look as though he'd picked up a bad knee injury, but that seems to have eased as the game has gone on, and that's strapping just on as a precaution.
Blythe again from Clark. Good work from Blythe. He gives Clark the return pass, and then Cooper goes without it. They're just overcooking it a bit, Warrington.
Well, just about to praise the fact that John Clark had stepped up a gear. It was about 10-15 minutes in the first half where he was controlling things. He looked as though he was getting into the swing of it, and then he puts a pass behind this young fella.
Good to see him back, though. Michael Cooper had a dreadful year last year with injuries. He was in hospital at one stage and was in intensive care. And there were real fears for him, but happily, here he is now, back out on the field of play and playing a part in Super League. As is Mitchell Sargent now for the Castleford Tigers. Sargent.
He took that well on the half volley, didn't he?
He did. He arrived last month for the Newcastle Knights. This is his first start. And here is Liam Higgins.
Good tactics by the Tigers as well. Get back to just basics, going down the middle, and that will put them in a good position. Drive away, control it, which they did it for long periods in that first 40.
Sargent again, good tackle by Lee Mitchell.
Will it be a bomb? Will Chris Hicks have something to do with this?
McGoldrick, no, they're running it, and they find the ball out wide to Shenton, and that's a stroll in for Richard Owen. An absolute stroll into the corner for Richard Owen. Well, a lot of people in this part of the world talk about the likes of Joe Westerman and Richard Owen. This is his 23rd Super League appearance of 2008, and he's only 18 years of age, and he is a real star for the future. This is 11th try of the season for him.
Well, they got it all wrong, didn't they? Matt King, all the experience in the world, he goes into no man's land. Full credit, though, to the Tigers. They went for the power play. They anticipated, but when you see the angle and the way that the big fella Matt King just went out of the line, just left a clear run in for Owen. Take nothing away from this fella, Richard Owen. And then can Kubi start kicking them?
Well, interesting, isn't it, that they've changed the goal kicker. Poor old Dixon's had a shocker.
Well, they needed to, didn't they?
Well, Craig Hubie, he can kick a goal, this fellow. But not from that sort of angle. 26 points to 18, 6 tries, but only 1 conversion for Castleford. Imagine what the extra 10 points would have done.
They would have been home and hosed as far as I'm concerned, but full credit to this young winger. And they got caught out, Warrington, didn't they?
But he's been getting rave reviews, Richard Owen, this year. Been a sensational addition to the Super League scene.
I think we perhaps overlooked the play that Michael Shenton as right centre was involved in there, really. It was a great timing of his run, good quick pass out then to the winger that made the try relatively easy for Owen to score. And I've been impressed with Shenton tonight as right centre for Castleford. He's done a lot of good things, and I think he's continuing on the end of a good season.
Indeed so, and what's more, this is his 100th Castleford appearance tonight, Michael Shenton. The Tigers ahead by 8 points. Still over 27 minutes of the match remaining, but Castleford still asking the questions.
Good work from Henderson.
Luke Dawn from dummy half, come down the short side. Tadic, Dixon, ooh, he held on to it under pressure from Riley. Breers is having a right go at the referee there, saying that was a knock on. Don't think it was. And there was a trailing arm from Lee Breers there that just caught Luke Dawn.
What a great take. Touch judge is on. This will be a penalty to the Tigers. Touch judge didn't miss it.
Well, you'd think it'd be a sin-bin as well, Steve-O.
It certainly appeared late. Breers certainly came to him. Oh, was that a intended or...
Well,
that wouldn't part the hair, would it?
Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
It's a card, it's a yellow card, it's a sin binning. And the incident also goes on report.
It was late, and he did trail his arm. I'm not saying there was hardly any intent, but to make any impact.
There was no intent.
No, that's what I'm saying, but he's paid the price.
It's an automatic sin binning, isn't it, for
well, Scott Moore
late
for Castleford last week did a similar thing against Kevin Sinfield. That was put on report. And he's obviously missing for 2 games as a result. Now, I'm not saying that will happen to Lee Breers. I never know why the player kicks it into touch. If he walks back with the ball, the defenders have to stay where they are.
Here's Korkidas for Castleford.
Basic play now from the Tigers. That's all they need, and get pretty close.
Mitchell Sargent.
And the way that McGoldrick and Dawn are bossing things out there.
Henderson comes down this side as well. That was knocked out of his hand, and Warrington have got it back. No, it's a knock-on, says Ian Smith. And a knock-on by Warrington, head and feet to Castleford.
Westwood looks stunned. He said, well, I was in the process of doing the tackle.
I don't think it's that one. I think it's the dive on the ball. There it was, I think. Maybe not. Maybe he did attack the football.
Well, I remember the new rule they brought in, where if you're involved in the tackle, it wasn't classified as a knock-on. And sometimes we have rules 1 month and forget about them the next.
This is Donlan.
Good defence there from Monaghan. There needed to be as well.
McGoldrick. Shenton, brilliant hands again. Richard Owen, second try. Castleford on fire. Tremendous try from Richard Owen. Second of this half from the young winger, and again created by the speedy hands of Michael Shenton.
He's in great form, he's in the centre. Shenton is enjoying this, and so is the winger, Richard Owen. And they catch it out again. This is how it all started. Westwood went, got the knock-on against them, and they're just not getting there in numbers, Warrington. They're not muscling through. And the Castleford Tigers, they know they can keep running all the night at Matt King. Remember, Gleeson is off. Can Hubie bring a cheer for a conversion?
Another difficult one right on the touchline. Misses with another. Incredible, isn't it? 7 tries to 3, but only 1 converted. Incredible. Down to Bill.
Eddie, you might see in this Richard Owen try a little special celebration from his first try as he puts the ball down, pointing to his wrist. Understand that's written on his wrist every week on the strapping that he has applied the initials RO. And the number 89 in tribute to his granddad Ronnie Owen, who died last year, I think it was, and he has that written every week just to remember granddad.
That's a nice touch.
And granddad would be very proud indeed, because he's finished up on both occasions. That's good hands there from Henderson.
Well, they're taking a chance, and it's all coming off for Castleford. This is Dawn, and he gives it here to Ned Kadich. Kadich is bamboozling them. Hicks stood his ground. Good job he did. Quick play the ball. Henderson, Dawn. And Dawn is going to be taken to ground by 3 defenders.
They're full of confidence in the Tigers. They're just keeping it alive, and it's really good support work.
This is Kadich again.
The way they're throwing the dummies, the forwards striding through, getting over the advantage line. Warrington look very tired indeed. A lot of them out there are out on their feet.
Morley managed to get hold of McGoldrick. Henderson and Dawn. Dawn with the ball to Kadich. He's ridden the challenge, and he gets the try. Ned Kadich. And this night is reminiscent of the night that Castleford put the cleaners through the Leeds Rhinos when they were the World Club Challenge winners of the week before. Warrington are about 1 million miles away from being World Club champions, but Castleford are outstanding tonight. Kadich, the latest try scorer. Can they convert this one?
Take nothing away from us as well. This has been superb play. As Eddie has already mentioned, that famous night when they just took Leeds apart. Remember the week after Leeds had lifted the World Club Challenge trophy, and they were in outstanding form. And the big frame of Kadich said, what was that? Was it a mosquito? Actually, it was a Warrington player. Get out of the way. Yes. Power. Strength. And boy, did he enjoy that, or what? Surely this will go over.
Ironic cheers as Hugh Mead bangs it over the crossbar. 36 points to 18. It's a long way back for Warrington now. And Castleford, full value for this winning scoreline that they've built. It's theirs to lose now. And these nights will stand this club in such good stead for 2009 and beyond. They have the likes of Rangi Chase coming in for next year, and Dean Withers from Souths, Rangi Chase from St George Illawarra. They're the two signings that they have announced for 2009. More to come, says Terry Mattison. And he hasn't enjoyed being down at the bottom of the table this year, and they want to build a little bit of momentum going into the close season so as they come back bigger and stronger in 2009.
Went backwards, they say, at Westwood again.
But it did, and I think Westwood got a hand to that, and if he did, that should be 6 to go for Castleford. It was exactly the same as the knock-on earlier on that he was pulled back for. Sargent, Blythe flying in at the tackle. Last one here for Castleford. And Dawn will put the kick right down the middle.
It's a good one too, it will bounce all over the joint. Chris Hicks, who's not had the best night.
An enthusiastic chase from Castleford.
You're spot on in regards, for the future of this Castleford outfit. They showed a lot more enthusiasm. They've just completely outmuscled their opposition. And irrespective of who Warrington play in the playoffs, I'm afraid on this performance, nobody's got any fear.
Matt King from dummy half, halted by the challenge from Korkidis. There's also Ryan Boyle in there. Monaghan with a dink over the top. The bounce has come up for him, and Andy Braycheck hangs on, flicks the ball away, bounced everywhere.
Oh, and it's
it's a knock-on by Castleford. He's actually offside, is it?
Oh, it's getting a little bit tasty out there as well.
Well, Warrington are frustrated.
Yeah. So
Castleford, I suppose, they could be excused for laughing at them at the moment.
Morley gets involved here. Ooh, and did he seem to drop with the knees slightly, did Mr. Morley? Don't think he made contact. Not good, I'm afraid. I think we might hear something about that, Eddie. That's certainly not within the laws of the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, I haven't seen anything, but I think it might be need to go to put it on report.
Well, that's gone on report as well. And now I don't know whether anyone had a word in the ear of Ashley Klein then.
I'm sure they did.
Or Ian Smith, rather. Or Ian Smith looked at the big screen right in front of him.
But he didn't need to put it on report. Morley could still have been punished for that.
Yes, he could.
Had it not been put on report.
Well, now they'll look at it again in a little more detail, and they might look a bit more close. Maybe.
Well, they would have picked it up anyway, Eddie. It was quite blatant.
Go.
Here is Morley, who's on report. Bumps one out the way.
Hold. Go.
Westwood. Sheer weight of numbers against Westwood there. He gets close, though. Clark. Looking busy, wanting to get on with it. Goes the other way than he pointed. This is Monaghan. Monaghan pops it up. Morley.
He's got to keep a good eye on it here, Ian Smith. It's getting very tasty out there. A lot of verbals thrown around.
Monaghan stabs the kick. Oh, Matty Blythe has missed it. Chris Riley got to it, but I think Matty Blythe might have been offside.
He's going to have a look anyway.
Klein has got another decision to make.
Well, he got the benefit of the doubt earlier. Going to get this one. It was a neat little kick from Monaghan.
No, he's not offside.
Well, he's onside there, but he misses it, doesn't he? That's okay. So let's see it a little bit further as to what happens. Monaghan with a dink. That's okay.
No, Matty Blythe is very quick.
Yeah.
Now then, it's whether Riley got the touchdown before the dead ball line. There's no knock on. There's no knock on.
Blythe misses it, and there comes Riley.
Oops. This will tell us.
And he's ready to try
He's got
another one. Well, that's amazing. TRY from Riley. And that is wonderful, you know. He did not to give up.
Well, he's had a curate's egg of a night, hasn't he, Chris Riley? That's the second try for him. But we highlighted a couple of his problems in the first half. But boy, he's alert when there's a try on. He really is, and that's the second one. He's chased down, hounded down, and he's picked up the reward. Well done to him.
That really was a great effort. A neat little kick. He looked for one moment there that Blythe was going to get on his second. It all came across by the chip over the top from Monahan, and did very, very well indeed. Then he got a little bit tasty. Morley got put on report, and then got the possession. Blythe just misses it, Riley doesn't. 2 on the trot.
And Riley, who scored 2 tries in the home defeat against Castleford in May, hopes that Lightning's not going to strike twice. That's a good conversion again from Chris Hicks. He's not missed. 36-24. They're still in this, Warrington, incredibly.
Well, I don't know how they are, because Castleford have just absolutely dominated this half of rugby league, and they've just hung on Warrington. Well, they haven't really in some respects have been scored against, but they needed something to change the momentum. With Lee Briers off the field, Castleford had really punished them, so they had to come up with something. There's no greater way to respond than to actually score a try, and to only be behind by 12 points with 16 and a half minutes left on the clock. I'm actually fascinated. I'm astounded by that. I can't believe it.
And Lee Briers is back out of the sin bin, by the way. Let's hear from Bill downstairs.
And Martin Gleeson is back on the field as well. It looks as though maybe his evening's work was over, but obviously it was a bang on the knee. There's a bit of strapping on the left knee, and he is back out there. Briers is back out there. And you never know with this Warrington side, they might think, come on then, let's put a foot to the floor.
2 converted tries and 16 minutes remaining. Plenty of time. Monahan drills the kick down, picked up by Richard Owen.
Well, you go back to Cardiff, don't you? I mean, it's just amazing how they came back on that occasion. It'll be interesting to see how the Tigers handle the tactics here. The one thing you want to do is, which they've done quite successfully, is that when the kick and chases come from Warrington, they've had the ability to get somewhere in and around the halfway line, but Warrington's defence has tightened up slightly now.
There are 3 there to bring Ned Katic down. It's Dawn who helps it on to Ryan Boyle.
Much better defence, as you can see. They're only at the 40-metre with the kick. Should be a long one.
Charged down and picked up by Simon Grix.
Bit of a wobble from the Tigers at the moment.
15 minutes to go. And here goes Andy Braychek. Play on, tackle not completed, it is now.
Stop, Michael! Hold, go.
Morley.
Please, stay Ryan. Hold, go.
Clark. Westwood. Bumps out of one. Warrington man involved there in the ruck. That was Grix. Clark, 10 metres out. Here is Briers. Now Monahan. Long pass wide finds Gleeson. Gleeson goes wide to King. King then inside to Welsh.
Good cover defence. He got that in numbers.
It's a penalty to Warrington. A high tackle. So great pressure on this Castleford line now.
Ryan, 2 feet.
Now we will see the fullback Chris Hicks come into the action.
There's Monahan. Monahan still. Monahan goes down underneath the post. That's the second tackle. There is John Clark in at dummy half. He looks and gives it to Briers. But Briers had Dixon all round his ankles when he received that in an instant. Dawn was there as well. Clark is held up over the line. 4th tackle. So they'll go back 10 metres and start again. Tackle count will continue.
Will they go early? That's the interesting thing.
2 feet. Go.
Briers. Monahan. Long pass again to Matt King. Matt King halted by a robust challenge from Ryan McGoldrick, who looks like he's having a little word in his ear. There's Welsh. Now Monahan. Looping pass to nobody, but the deck finds Westwood eventually. Westwood was played at, and very well done by Kirk Dixon.
got the ricochet and was very alert indeed.
Managed to recover, didn't he?
Yeah.
Great run from Wainwright.
Tremendous effort from the winger. He's had a big night as well, and so too has Henderson. He started to control things as well. This is where they're just going to settle it down. They're over the halfway line now. This is where you boss it. Luke Dawn, Ryan McGoldrick take control.
Korkidis taking it forward. And falling on tackle number 4. Henderson, dummy half. Here is Luke Dawn. Finds the runner on his inside, that's Hubie. Last tackle here for Castleford. Kick needed to be good. Dawn has it. There's the dink down the line, an invitation to chase, and he finds touch. Great work from Luke Dawn.
Common sense as well. He's had a big night. I realise he's had a tremendous season. The rumour is, though, Sean, that he's not going to be here for next season, and that is going to be a big loss to the Tigers.
Yeah, that's circulating, Steve. Certainly he may be on his way to another Super League club, but he's shown tonight his class. He's shown tonight the time when he's got time on the football, he's got a little bit of space. He's shown what he can do. He's a multi-skilled player. He's got great pace. He can set a man up. He can show and go himself. He's kicked tonight with both right foot and left foot, and he's been outstanding for them tonight, and certainly been extremely influential for the Castleford team.
Morley wants to get on with it, plays it eventually to John Clark. Boyle was ahead of him, takes on Liafa, comes out second best. Breers wide to Martin Gleeson. Good defence from Shenton. And here's the kick now from Breers. That's high again. Monaghan's chasing this. Oh, Monaghan ran straight into Donlan, and that's a penalty.
They had no attempt to go for the football. The football went nowhere near both of them, and they just battled him. Both realised, and had a little bit of a tap on each other and said, "Sorry, mate."
That's where the game, Eddie, tests your concentration. You start to get tired. So basically, it's a lazy option, wasn't it, to carry on running it? He didn't have the energy quite to look up, because that was a difficult catch for Donlan to have to try to make. He took the pressure out of the situation by colliding with the defender, with Donlan.
10 metres, Rob.
Henderson waits again at dummy half. He finds McGoldrick, who in turn gives it to Dawn. It goes short then to Hubie. Donlan, dummy half for Castleford. Runs straight at Westwood. Westwood seemed to miss him. Breers didn't. Westwood just seemed to fall off the tackle then. This is Henderson now. It's with Dawn and McGoldrick. He's had a great game, Ryan McGoldrick. Last one for Castleford.
The two half-backs have been outstanding. Not surprisingly, Shenton and Dixon have had plenty of chance to... Ooh, and they've just ripped that away. That'll be more pressure.
More pressure indeed.
Shakes his head, does Terry Matterson, but I think he realises that we're going into the final 10 minutes, that there's an opportunity there.
I'll tell you something, Steve, they might smell a bit of blood in the water here, Casper, but it wouldn't surprise me if they opt for a 1-pointer. You're leading by 12 points. You go there, you're going to ask Warrington to score 3 times. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but there's a short kick-off from Warrington. Now, again, is that a penalty?
Well, it certainly looked as though he was taken out in the air, wasn't it? But they've worked hard in the forwards as Castleford. They've really laid the foundation for the two half-backs to control it.
This is Liafa, comes out the back to Henderson. Here is Luke Dawn. Something on offer here. They've got the man on the overlap wide. Bricks did well to bring Hubie down. He plays it there. Now it's with Dawn again. Good drive forward once again by Ryan Boyle.
Well, this is where you'd go for it, wouldn't you, Sean? The 1 point.
No, they're looking for more, and they might get them. Great ball out the back. They've got the forward, Dixon. Kirk Dixon with the try for Castleford, and that should just about wrap it up. Kirk Dixon's try, and Warrington, well, they face an edgy end to the campaign. Bradford will be sniffing blood tonight. If they can beat Hull Kingston Rovers tomorrow, Not only will Wigan come into their sights, but the 4th spot currently occupied by Warrington will be available.
Outstanding play yet again. The power, the quality, and what about the flick pads? Dixon, just superb. They fully deserve their win tonight.
I'm reminded, by the way, that the Bradford Bulls have to come to the jungle in the last round of the Super League, and they might not fancy coming here with the prospect of securing 4th spot. It's the 9th try that the Tigers have scored tonight. And can Hubie add the extras to another? Oh, no, he can't.
Well, a right grin on his face, because he really should have planted that one. But look at that scoreline. 40 points to 24.
9 tries, Steve-O, and only 2 converted.
And it gives you some indication that you'd think that Castleford could have been up to 60 points. And they have just totally blitzed this Warrington outfit apart, Phil.
I think we're seeing tonight a great summary of the work that Terry Matheson has done at this club over the season, Eddie. We've been here, they've pulled off some remarkable wins against Leeds, but they've scored some great tries here tonight. And they've shown, for a side at the bottom of the league, he's developed some great habits amongst his players, hasn't he? To try and be at their best whenever possible. And you know, again, it shows that between the 3rd and bottom side in this competition, there is very little between them. I think Leeds and St Helens are almost in a league above the rest, but the other 10 teams, very little separates them.
And this is one of the major advantages whereby no relegation can help the future of a club.
Well, that's the theory, and let's see in 3 years' time if it makes a difference.
I think it will. And the enthusiasm shown by Castleford tonight have indicated that they are laying the platform for the future as well. It's been an outstanding performance.
Well, am I right in saying that we will only know the true value of no relegation over 3 years if one of the teams from the bottom reaches, the lower reaches of Super League at the moment, actually gets to Old Trafford and wins the grand final? Great kick in behind the defence by McGoldrick again, and Welsh, having work to do, manages to do it. Plays the ball to Monaghan. Here is Matt King. Matt King got a King hit apparently last week by Michael Vella for Hull Kingston Rovers. We'll see Michael Vella tomorrow for Rovers at Bradford tomorrow afternoon.
We've spoken about the fact that Castleford have been very good with ball in hand, but the one thing that Terry Maddison will also be very pleased with, at times this Castleford defence have been really, really strong. Solid. They've worked hard as a unit.
They have on their own goal line, and they have in midfield as well. Breers, little dink over the top. Was he taken out? Yes, the referee says he was. What's more, he's in agony, Lee Breers. This time it's the other knee.
Was it a trip? I think rather just appealing to the officials, say, you know what? Well, he just tried to get out of it and caught the knee, I think.
Morley runs strongly.
Not surprisingly, they're taking the quick tap. It's all a matter of pride now. Surely this is a bit too far for them.
Gleeson. Martin Gleeson taking them all on, and Castleford holding him out. Behind the play, Breers is going to be carted off the field as Warrington get a penalty. Here's Monaghan. It's Wood. He eludes Dixon first time. Dixon snakes out the arm and drops him to the ground.
Big problems for Lee Breers.
Major problem. Morley's halted by a great tackle from Liafa.
4 feet. Go.
Clark, Monaghan, short ball.
Shoulder. 3. Hold. Go.
King was halted. Here is Monaghan, stabs it through, looking for Blythe. Brilliantly picked up by Luke Dawn. Just waited for that and just scooped it up like into a bucket. And now Warrington caught offside.
He's been the man of the moment, as Luke Dawn. He's been outstanding tonight. He really has led by example. And he got that there and just snuffed it before Blythe can get there. He's been outstanding throughout this season. There have been times when the Castleford pack have been just ripped apart.
Third time in the last 5 games, Steve-O, the Castleford Tigers have scored 40 points or more in a match. They're getting used to this Super League business.
Yep, and that's another penalty. And someone's going to the sin bin. Someone has said, I think it might be Westwood.
It is.
Who's had a few choice words to say to the man with the whistle. And there's only going to be one winner, should I say, and that's a bloke in the white uniform.
Well, he actually then turned around as though he's going to have yet another say at Ian Smith, and that actually could have turned yellow to red. So, biting his tongue for a moment, Ben Westwood, probably the wisest thing to do. It has not been a great night for the Warrington Wolves. It's been a fantastic night for the Castleford Tigers. It really has. It's been a performance that has warmed the cockles of their supporters' hearts. This gives them great hope for the future. Dixon. Here is Dawn. Fires the pass to McGoldrick.
He just sniffed there's another try to come. The one thing that Castleford have done as well is they've been nattering to the opposition throughout this match. And they've been laughing, they've been grinning, they've been saying, look at the scoreboard here. And they're going to get away with it, are they? No,
Riley manages to hack it forward, but it's back to 0 in the tackle count. And look at the footwork there of Ryan McGoldrick. What a ball there to Dixon. They're going to get in again here. It's going to be the hat-trick for Wainwright. Michael Wainwright's hat-trick just crowns the night. Draws applause from his coach with a big smile. And Castleford full value for this victory. Wainwright, the 10th try, the 3rd try scored by him tonight. 10 tries, just 2 conversions. Who needs a goal kicker when you're scoring tries like this?
Well, they've shown here what wonderful attacking play tonight, all through the game. The number of tries and breaks and runs that have gone down either the left or right flank have shown that they have got some wonderful, entertaining value here again. Look, players passed him before the line. There's an element of luck in there. Riley toes it through. There's little other option for him at this point. But look at McGoldrick, making people sit down and slip on the floor. He's that evasive at present. Dixon just draws Hicks. Nice pass to Wainwright. Do you know what? I've seen him play some tough games here this season, Michael Wainwright. It's nice that he can enjoy one towards the end of the season. They will finish at the bottom of the table, but they go into their pre-season training with a lot to look forward to.
Another conversion goes west. 44-24. And there's the full-time siren.